So we're just gonna make sure I send out some links so people know I'm out there. And then we'll get started. Sharing around the link, and we'll see if... Oh, there's Philip. Alright, catch the recording, that's not an issue. Let's see, I'll throw it out on Twitter and Mastodon as well. Alright, now I think I've shilled myself to enough people that there might actually turn out to be someone watching. No face cam right now because my camera is taken up by this thing. Hey Marcel, welcome aboard, welcome back. Let me know how the audio goes. I think it should be fine. Levels look good over here, but you never know. Alright, so what we have working right now and what we're looking at right now, this is a test that's running. So this is my very nice test with a timeout of infinity that is currently just reading and inspecting the binary as it comes off of this device. And this is an IX prompt that's running a gen server that actually logs what my interpreted version of these events are. So a little low on the volume. That's interesting because I had it be louder earlier and I was probably talking at the microphone, so that makes sense. I can boost it a little bit further. Watch your ear holes. There. Is that better? I think it should be. Yeah. I should try to avoid screaming. Yeah, I'm using this shotgun mic and there. Cool, 200% volume, that's what I want, apparently, when I'm not talking at the microphone. Alright, so what I've implemented so far is twisting knobs because that's the most exciting part about this thing for me. I work in software, so I care deeply about things that are physical. So if you twist this, it says it's turning to the right one step. If I twist it fast, it will say sort of 6 steps. Oh, and there I accidentally turn it a little bit to the right, to the left. And I can also press it, and then it goes. The button on the knobs went down, and it always shows the state of all of these because you can also press 2 of them at the same time and get different combinations. So neat in that way. So I think I've implemented the knobs fully, and the way I've done that is binary pattern matching. So I stripped out this is the binary pattern we're dealing with. I stripped out the first one because that seems to be always be a one, and I think it's what is it called? It's a kind of ID from the USB HID standard. The Python library also strips it out. So hold on. I really should get a mute button because I do need to cough occasionally. Oh well. Next step should be straightforward. I want to implement these buttons. You can see here unhandled results. And as I press them, you can see that the indicator is wandering off to the side. So if I press the first and the last one, we'll see it's 0801, and the two last bytes are not used for this. So we should be able to write a function that matches on this stuff. Elixir makes this so simple. And then this would be B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. Oh, actually I can do, let's do buttons. And we know it's gonna be 8, so this is the number of bits. So it's 8 bits to a byte, and we know that there's 8 buttons. We can actually get the number of buttons from the config up here. So config keys. Well, this count doesn't seem right. Oh well, columns and rows. So let's be proper and just do button count. So that's at config dot keys dot calls times config dot keys dot rows, and then we can do button count like that. Maybe space them apart is a little bit nicer. That way we get all the button states, and then there's some like 2 bytes after that we don't care about, so we match those out. So you're saying that Elgato Wave XLR has a nice mute button. Yes, but like I don't really like a lot of software in my microphones. And I don't really like a lot of software in my interface. So Elgato seems to be doing nice stuff in audio as well. Very decent at least. But it's like there's software for all of it. I guess apparently it's not that hard to control. Well, the Elgato Wave XLR. Oh yeah, is it the Elgato Wave XLR? That's the interface then. But I believe that interface also has a bunch of sort of processing options and stuff. Yeah. So it's always like, I want it simpler ideally, but I might end up getting one of those for for when I mount this microphone on my camera at certain times. Then it's nice to have that. So I can manually match out these buttons, or I can do it in a different way. Well, let's reduce, I guess. we take buttons, that's a binary. Can you reduce a binary? Not directly, I don't think. Huh. How do I want to do that? Binary. Reduce the binary. Binary dot into list. I'll do. No reduction necessary because then I just do in a map button state and I should be good to go, and then it's just like this map that I should probably turn into a struct at some point. They really want to call them keys? I guess keys is nice. Event. Oh, button is always going to be button. It's helpful for the knobs to differentiate them. If you are watching, please say hi in the chat. I really like knowing that people are there, and let me know if there's anything unclear or anything you want me to expand on. I'm happy to dive into pretty much anything that I'm dealing with. This Elgato Stream Deck thing has had my curiosity for a bit, but since it's ideal for a desktop computer situation. Hey Simon, hey Minweb. It's ideal for a desktop setup, and my desktop setup is Linux. And there is a Steam Deck UI that might be good and useful for me. Hey Riska. I'm used to seeing you as Emriska, but Michael, I guess. Hey Peter. Some good Swedes showing up today. Alright. So probably this will do. So we can just do recompile here. And because, so this is a bit neat, because my gen server just calls functions in a different module, if I recompile that module, I don't have to restart the gen server generally to get different results. Now this is not working. Why is this not working? Hold on. I did a silly thing. There are not 8 columns up there. So it was matching for the wrong value. Oh! Error! Oh no! Not a binary. Right! That's fun. Because I matched it the way I did, it did not get matched out as a binary. Now my gen server has been murdered. That was very sad. I did not keep it running through the entire thing. Well, we can do binary size and then we remove that because then we're matching on bytes. And do a new recompile. We need to grab the device. We start our gen server all over again. So this is a gen server that's called device. I start it, I pass it the device that I pulled from, well, I code for pulling these devices off the USB. Then I give it a callback for logging. So I start that. And now pressing a button will do pretty much what I want it to. So if I press 2 of them, I get double downs, release them. And it's working the same with this. Sweet. Now, there's one more thing that's interactive on this. If I poke this screen, prefix 214. So there it's like 603 there. Okay, so it doesn't trigger a drag really. Triggers clicks. It registers a tap. It does not register when you let go. It does seem like it registers an initial movement. Or is it just essentially a double touch? Because I'm not sure. But we'll try to match it and start pulling it apart. This one is probably going to be a fair bit trickier. Hey, MacBull. So the tricky part is not going to be sort of matching the first bit. It's always 2, 14, 0, and then we get, let's say, A, B. The thing is, I'm not sure what the shape of this message is, and we can cheat. So this is the Python implementation. This is pulled from a pull request to the Stream Deck library in Python. So if we check how they read key states, how do they parse them? Is the question. Read key states. No. Because it might be something really clever that I need to do, and I'm not good with binaries and clever, so I want to check, and then I can consider whether I want to figure it out myself or not. Hid states, so they check the first byte. If that's a 0, yada yada yada, last key states. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it started with a 0 when it was the buttons. That's correct. So rotor report, rotor turned, rotor pushed. We've solved these. LCD touch report. X hid states. So byte 6, the 7th byte. Oh, this is a bitwise thing, right? Plus hid states 5. Oh, I do not like bitwise. I am not good at this. That's gonna be fun. Python bitwise operators. Let's go. 0 fill left shift. Heck yes, I guess. One day I'm gonna get proper understanding of bitwise operations. It's like I know roughly what it's supposed to do, but I need to relearn it every time. The left operand's value is moved toward left by the number of bits. So I mean, it's gonna have a byte there, right? Thing is, I don't technically need to understand exactly why they're doing that. It's annoying when I don't, but let's see, bitwise Elixir. There's a module for this. So doesn't say anything about filling, but I think arithmetic left bitwise, yeah. Okay, so they get an x and y value. So there is a drag event. if hid states is not, let's see, the drag 3. Oh, that's what they are. It's a short press, a long press, and a drag. That's fun. So we have that, we have that, and we have that. And you can see here 2, 1, 3. So that's what they were looking for in that particular case. All right, were they doing anything else about this? So if it's a drag, they just say, oh, it's a drag and it's X and Y location. Oh, it's not, rather it's not a drag, it's this state and it's a XY location. If it's a drag event, it calculates an X out and an XY. Okay, yeah, so there's a couple other bytes that tell you where it started and where it stopped, I guess. If we look at this and I swipe all the way across, it's so fast I can't tell if it's doing a reasonable thing. But cool. This is interesting. So let's do that so I can steal some code more easily. This is the whole of my concept for how I implement these things. Like when I do hardware implementation things, it's just like, yep, how did someone else do it? Steal that. So I get 2, 14, 0. Those parts don't need to care about. And then, so I think they strip out some additional bytes beforehand because they are saying these hit states, if it's 2, touch report. Yeah. That, yeah, okay. Yeah. 2, it's a touch report. I think they ignore the 14, but it's 2 and 14. So then they grab type. So I'll just do this. So that means I grab 8 bits. I can also do int. I think. Let's do that. So that's this would be 1, this would be 2, and this would be 3, right? So they are not using 4. They're using 6. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can look at this and see that it's on a press, that's 1. On a drag, that's a 0. I don't know that that matters. They don't seem to be doing anything with it. I guess that's fine to skip. And then we have the fun parts. So let's see, 5. Let's call that X1. Oh, it's gonna get messy. X2. Y1. Y2. And as I mentioned, let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to try to clarify what I'm doing and help anyone learn something from this. And we're grabbing these, so it would be I'll call that X out 1, so X01, X02, YO1. Now I'm making assumptions here. Let's double check, yeah. YO2. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, the camera inlay started covering the interesting code. Can shrink this a little bit. Put that somewhere up there. For now, we'll figure out. I'll probably have to move this around when I do other things, or I should just scroll a little bit. I'll put it there. Disembodied image moving around. The interesting code is perhaps generous, but you're not wrong. So this, it's 8 bytes. 8 byte that we want to grab, and this is annoying to read. So I'll do coords binary size 8, and then anything else we ignore because this, I don't think this used the full size of this binary. Let's see if the formatter wants me to do that all over again. Rather, we'll reframe that all over again. But so we match that out of coordinates. Let's just break it apart a little bit at least. So with that, we should be able to calculate x by doing, let's see, it's x2. All right, I need to bring in bitwise. It's actually, I think that's a require, no use. That's a little bit unusual. Yeah, okay. Use bitwise. So, there. It's like, you're doing binary syntax. I am not. And that would be x1, and the y equals y2, up. Hey, rabbit's foot. Touchscreen origin. So you mean the start of the drag? I think that's the x, the xy that we're calculating now, and because they calculate the x out further down, that's why we pulled out the xo and yo. Make sense? And that's just the theory, I will say. So we want these regardless, and oh, I guess we'll find out. I don't actually know where anything is on this one because it's not straight math. Like it's not, oh, we're getting a 0 and it's not entirely pre-calculated. It's this bit shifty thing. I can't actually tell, but we'll find out, I think. They've hidden it behind math, which is a sign that they don't like me very much. So let's see. Touch, press. Just do. So 1 is short, 2 is long, I think. Yeah, 2 is long. So if type drag, that's 3. Oh, I guess let's just do this. Actually, just resolve the type. Now we can do it this way. If type equals drag, is that the special case? Else. So for touches, like for now we can just ignore those, just nil them, and then we do part touch screen event equal to press and x, y, y. I'm making up the data structure as I go, so it's like, yeah. Type. What is this compiling about? Oh, some unused stuff, that's fine. Let's recompile this. Oh no! The PID does not refer to an existing process. Undefined function error. Oh, we should be able to ignore this for now, so I can full screen this. So recompiling, use bitwise deprecated, import bitwise instead. Okay, I can do that. Unused. Function parse is unused. Oh, parse result. Good catch, Mr. Compiler. Undefined function. Stream Deck plus poll is undefined. I doubt that. I don't think I removed my poll function. No, it's right there. Well, we'll do a recompile with that. See what it complains about. Cannot define module stream deck devices stream deck plus is currently being defined in. No, it's cranky at me for some reason. Let's just restart IEX. I don't know what that was about. Grab us a device, start us a gen server, and then poke it. Press. Long. And nothing on drag. Because I'm sending a nil, and that particular piece of code ignores nil. I think that was a pretty straightforward process for implementing that. What do you say? Can you do it faster in your language of choice? Let's do the other bit of math. I think it was the exact same math on the outs. So x out equals x of 2 plus xo1 y out 2 1. Now we do something similar to this. We can distinguish them as let's start x, y. I I wonder if this is really helpful or if I should just do a point and then x, y. I think it's rare that you don't want both of them, so yeah, start. Makes it a little bit cleaner. And oh, thanks, Riska. And here I wasn't quite done. Comma. With a little bit of luck, I can just run recompile here. And then I might also be able to get a drag. Yes. So let's see. So if I touch the upper corner of this, oh, even the bezel is touch, and then yeah, so it seems like 0, 0 is top left. To answer Rabbit's Foot's question. All right, so this is actually a sign that we've implemented all of the inputs. I've also implemented one output. So okay, let's take this d.module. Yeah, the module set brightness d1 argument error, right, report nil. Oh, right. I instantiated it with the gen server, so my local D is not started yet. Apparently you can have multiple instances of these running, which isn't kind of wild, but that's fine. So let's do, now I think I can do that. Yeah, so you can see that the brightness went to, the Elgato logo went away, and I can do 100, I can do 10. So that was the first part I implemented. So now, of course, we could also do, if we had our gen server keep some state, we could do something fun with that. Actually, we can. It's going to be annoying to write a callback for that inside of that anonymous definition, but it's absolutely doable to sort of, for example, I could use this to tweak the brightness of itself, which could be a neat demo, but I'm not going to do it right now. Now, the next part is each of these buttons, you can send pictures to it to say, oh, this is what I want to show. And you can decide what's shown on that display. I have not even started looking at that. I'll just do maybe keys and touch screen inputs work. Origin does not appear to be a... Did I not set it up? Okay. Well, it's supposed to be public, so... GitHub never succeeds at pushing commits. I don't know if it's just not using my SSH settings properly. Alright, Marcel, I was lying earlier when I said that you could fetch this and use it, but now you can. I'm glad I settled some of the trickier bits earlier. So this is something I've been poking around with. There were bugs in the NIF that connects Erlang to the C bindings for HIT API, the HIT API libUSB library. There were bugs, and they weren't big, but they were enough that nothing worked, and occasionally I would segfault. It was segfault when trying to produce a proper error. I don't really know C, so figuring out how to do it was really annoying, but I got it, and since it's been working well. All right, this is how they did a blank key image. I have them in a separate file that's compiled in, so at compile time this is added. So this is a blank key. But I want to push, so these two I don't care about. I'm sure they're great, don't care. Set key image now. Give an image, it's bytes image, or oh, this might actually be a sort of secret binary for, or a special binary for setting a blank key rather than an actual black JPEG, because a JPEG is never going to be as good as just blanking in the hardware. Huh, hadn't thought of that, but that's good. So this turns them into bytes. This is page number 0, bytes remaining. While bytes remaining is more than 0, this underscore length, image report payload length, header, yada, yada, yada. Okay. First thing first, Stream Deck icons. Oh, sure, Stream Deck icon maker. Is that an, yes, an online thingy? Please be an online thingy. So I just want some kind of key that I can send, so I don't have to futz with getting the right kind of image. I can write code for that later. But okay, so this is a PNG. I thought it was weird that they said that it should be JPEG. Maybe it should be JPEG, I don't know. But they gave me a PNG. So I don't see anything about sort of picking another Stream Deck. This looks a little bit jank overall, so I'm not sure if I should trust it, but hey, whatever, I'll try it. So let's just add that sample to our assets. Be the first. I will say I'm surprised and a little bit impressed that Elgato has managed to do so many not very crappy products. Doesn't feel like this is what a sort of gaming gear company should be doing. It's like I expect them to do a crap job, and they've generally been pretty good. Like the lights are nice. Their 4K capture thing is competitive with the best. It seems like surprising, really. Okay, I'm gonna steal this chunk of code so I don't have to have two editors up, and then I can hide that and I can split that and just put the code there for stealing. So they grab image report payload length, or oh yeah, this is how big the payload can be, and this Just like if there aren't enough bytes remaining, they want to not send everything or not send too much. These are initial headers. This tells it this is an and. Oh, they are converting the key number to something. Do I need to check Python bitwise operators again? Bitwise and. Okay, so let's see, a bitwise and for, so if key equals, we can do it in a separate one. Well then, if key equals 0 in decimal, it would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And it was bitwise anding it with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, which would lead to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. While if it's a 1, which I guess would be there, this would be, okay, they're converting it to binary. That's what they're doing in Python. Gotcha. I don't have to do it that way. One, if this length equals bytes remaining. Yeah, so this should be 1 if it's the final byte. So they because it's more data, we need to send multiple, make multiple calls, and then I'm hoping this. Yeah, so they build up a payload and then they pad out. Byte count, low byte. Byte count, high byte. Byte page number, low byte, page number, high byte. So this is just indicating where we are in sending data. I guess this is never the most fun part, because if you get a sort of off by 1 error in these types of things, it's just gonna blarg. There was a lot of that when I was building Inky. Page number equals page number 1, da, 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 da. Okay, this is separate if that for some reason did not get a new line. Wild. Did I paste it twice? I think I pasted it twice. All right. Well, let's see if we can't send an image. This is a little bit more sport than what I've been doing so far, but it should be manageable, I think. We might not get it done because I'll be streaming until the hour, pretty much. Marcel knows where I'm going. We have a bit of a mastermind thing where I need to be. So set key image, which well, key index, I guess, and then image primary. Let's do that. to keep things a little bit simple, I'm gonna... Didn't I load the blank thing here? No, okay, right. Never mind, don't need to keep things simple. Let's keep them complicated. Well, they are doing a bounce check on the number of keys. Sure, I guess. And this has 8 keys, so well, the highest key index really should be the highest key index. I wonder if they want if they start with the 0th, or if they do one index. I'm guessing 0th. I'm gonna ignore this for now. I don't care about clamping to the appropriate size. Okay, so we can also start with page number equals 0, bytes remaining equals byte size in binary. We're not gonna do a while loop because that's not how we roll. Yeah, we should be able to do a reduce on this. What do we want to output? Nothing really. Yeah, nothing. They're not looking at the return values or anything. So enum.reduce bytes. No, that's not how you do it. One dot bytes. No. This is also not how you want to do it. Send image chunk binary. And so the bytes remaining thing, that's just what remains, so we don't actually have to track that, I don't think. We can just send image chunk recursively until we're done. So, or that's my theory at least. That's my gut feeling on this. We might need the page number there. So now we're getting functional here. This length. It's not a reserved word for us, so just use length. Bytes remaining or add config keys. No, add config dot image dot report dot payload length. Now we construct the header. We do that as a binary, not as a list, because we can. 0x02, 0x07, that's probably just the prefix, and I think you should just be able to put the key index should probably stick around. Should be useful. And still, if there's anything you're wondering about or curious if we can do, let me know. It's always welcome. So I think I should just be able to do that. And prefer doing this. So if length equals bytes remaining, else do else, and if length bytes remaining 1, 0. So they are saying this length. Oh yeah, they're just turning it into binary. I'm gonna make some assumptions here that this number is not gonna be absolutely ginormous, and if that's the case, I'm gonna be okay. Byte count low byte and byte count high byte. Huh. Not exactly following this. This should be length. This should be length. I don't think I'm in trouble for not doing the and, because to me, anding with a byte full of ones, like FF is straight ones, does not change the value. But I think it's a way to force a cast in Python. That's my assumption, at least. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because that might save me some trouble. This is a decent way. Bytecent equals page number. Don't know what we need bytecent for yet. Oh, that's how they're grabbing it from the image. Yeah, that's not how I'm gonna do it, I don't think. Page number times. Yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, we want to grab report payload length if there is enough to do so. So bytes, let's do case binary do. So if we can grab bytes that match the binary size and the length. Oh, now in this case it's the matches config dot image to report payload length. So, just for the pleasure of using it, here I'm gonna assign this. I remember binary pattern matches can be a little bit finicky with how fast you get inside of them. So I prefer just having it as a straight variable. Remainder. Just keep that around. Bytes. Remainder. So if there is a remainder, we have that right there. And otherwise, we just have this, the bytes, which is, that means we do bytes, and then we do empty binary there. And binary is empty. We don't care about the key index, we don't care about that. But we do, do okay. It's whatever. But here we are grabbing that. They are stitching together the so they're counting bytes remaining. I don't think we need to count the bytes remaining really. Because if we do this up here, it is not the last, it is the last. We should be able to build our entire payload here, I think. Well, we can just do this. I think that's all they're doing with the header. Then they are doing padding. The byte array takes the length that is the report length and then the length of the payload. So they're building a so I think we can do pad with zeros, which is a utility function I made earlier. So let's see, they are just taking the payload to figure out how much to pad it, because it needs to be a certain length. And that's it. So I can actually do pad, write pad bytes, that's what and just choose size. Oh well, now I would like to know the header size, that would be convenient. I shouldn't pad it yet. That would be neat though. Alright, payload, this. Write pad, bytes, payload, and we want it to be the payload length. I'm super curious if this will work. I'll essentially have one chance to run it before I have to go off and talk to some folks, I guess. Padding, and then it's just write. Let's see, image chunk. I should probably keep the device around as well. One of those things. So write the payload, and then send image chunk the remainder page number +1. So now we are recursing this. What's the complaint? Undefined function send image chunk. But you are that function. Come on. Play with me here. Oh, you want the key index as well. makes some sense. I'll forgive you. So if I recompile, no problem. Let's do this. Grab one of those, d equals to text start d m equals d module m dot well image equals file dot read from priv slash blank. Blank is not a good name for what that image is, but let's go for it. Image. So now I might be reading the image in the wrong format and all sorts of things, so we have no idea how this will go. Send. Set key image d0 image. Construction of binary failed. Segment 1 of type integer. Expect a non-negative integer at size, but got minus 64. Like, is fair enough. That seems like a legitimate complaint. Minus. You should not have to pad a negative size. That's no good. If that was what's happening. Well, I need to wrap up. We will not find out if this works this time, but I'm bound to share something about it when I get it working, so don't sweat it. Anyway, thanks for watching for this time. I'm actually planning on doing a fair number more streams, so I'm talking to a few projects about doing some sponsored streaming where I work on some rather particular projects for companies that want that kind of thing. And yeah, it's open source stuff, it's paid work, it's a little bit of marketing. I think it's going to be fun. So the one that I have in mind and that I have a deal with currently that we'll start working on is that I'm doing a thing with the Electric SQL folks. So they are building a product for syncing SQLite and Postgres databases, active replication, fully sort of local first, friendly, bunch of CRDTs, and they have all the sort of sciencey people, but I'm pretty good at showing how to use the thing. So there's a few examples that I will be building out for them, that kind of thing. So that should be an interesting stream, see how many SQLite databases we can get running on fly.io, and maybe if we can get a very prototypey Elixir version of their fancy reactive client libraries and stuff. So that's going to be cool. Oh, hey Paraxial, or Michael. All right, you hit just at the end. I'm going to go join that call we're supposed to have. Later, everyone. Thanks for watching.